Hey, how's everyone doing today? It's a Friday afternoon and I decided to go live. I actually am right now. Um, I'm going through, it's been a couple years since, hopefully you can hear me all right. If you can't, let me know. But it's been several years since I read a book called The 12-Week Year. And this is a book by Brian Moran, I believe. And I read this book probably back in 2018 or 2019. It was pre-pandemic for sure. And I was using it to build and grow. And actually, sorry, I'm standing up. I need to get my little foot pad here. I was using it to build and grow my law firm at the time. And hey, Andrew. Thank you. Thank you, Backwoods. Glad to hear that. So anyway, I was reading, I read this book called The 12-Week Year. If any of you have read this book, comment below. Let me know if you've read it. It's a really great book. And the basic premise of the book, and before we go into that, I just want to let you know, I'm only going to be able to stay on today until about 4 o'clock. But I've got some things I want to share with you. Anyway, the premise of the book is that rather than creating goals that 12-month goals, the premise is to set goals in 90-day increments or 12 weeks. And it's not a novel concept. Every single business coach that I've ever worked with has had me set goals on a 90-day clip. And so this is a very common thing in the business world. But the way Brian in his book has it laid out is you set, and these are mine for the week. So I'm on week 2, and the way he has you do it is you set your overarching goals, what you want to accomplish in the 12 weeks, and then you have tactics. And the tactics are kind of like the action things that you do. So tactics you can measure because you're actually doing that. You either did the thing or you didn't do the thing. And so one of the things on my list for this week is to go live on YouTube to provide value. And so it's around 3:30 in the afternoon. I looked down on my list of everything I had to do for the week and realized, you know what, I didn't do that this week. I didn't really feel like going live today, but it's on my list of things to do. And we want to hit our goals. And so I know I want to hit my goals. And so here I am. Anyway, so I decided that what I was going to talk about, and I sketched this out here for just real quickly. I don't have a whole lot to share, but I think hopefully what I am about to share is going to be valuable to you. And this is some things that over the past, like 2 weeks, I've really done a lot of soul searching and a lot of and thinking about my business and what I want to do and where I want to be. Now, mind you, I'm a lawyer. I realize I've got a Y Guide shirt on today. I apologize, but I realize I'm a lawyer. And hey, Nikki, good to see you today. And so a lot of my content on the channel has been about the law, and a lot of the things I teach in my courses are about how to legally protect your business, and I sell legal templates. I do all those things, but I really want to grow and broaden the number of people that I can affect. And so you may have seen on the channel, you probably got a notice about this and did not recognize who this person was, because normally you see Hawthorne Law. And this time, today, what you should have saw was Jim Hart. And that's because I changed the channel name this morning. And this was something that was really hard for me to do, something that I hadn't necessarily planned on doing, but it's consistent with my overarching goal, which is to reach more people, to help more people, to broaden what I can share with you and the value I can bring to my community, and talking more about productivity, personal finance, entrepreneurship, and of course, how to legally protect your business. That's never going away, but I want to talk about more things. And And as I am working on myself and on my business and figuring out what it is, how I can be more successful and how I can provide more value to my audience and how I can do more things in 2022. And this is especially important because, we're as I've talked about before, my family and I were moving to Portugal in July, and that's only 4 months away, believe it or not. And so I've got a lot I really need to do in the next 4 months and a lot of work I need to do to get my business to where I want to be when we leave and all sorts of things. And I have really sabotaged myself over the last 12 months or so. And I've made a lot of excuses. Personally, I've made a lot of excuses with my business because my business has not reached the level that I had hoped it to be by now. And part of the reason for that is because I've been relying too much on organic traffic, YouTube traffic, which is nice. I love it. Thank you so much for your support. I've been relying on people that are on my email list, which is growing, so that's good. But I haven't been actively pursuing new people to bring into my ecosystem. And the way most businesses that have a good idea or a good business model grow is they spend money on advertising. And so I haven't done that. I've had these limiting beliefs that I'm going to lose money if I spend money on ads, or that people aren't going to buy anyway if I run ads, or I'm not good on camera, or whatever it might be. And I went back and looked at my stats from when I ran a lot of ads in 2020 and then the beginning of 2021. And I went back, and the worst promotion I ever did with Facebook ads still returned me 2 to 1. So I put in $1, I got back 2. And I think anyone would say that if they could invest, $1 into the stock market and they were going to get $2 back within a couple of weeks, that's probably pretty good. Also, I might add, with borrowed money, because typically the way I do my Facebook ads is I put it on a credit card, then when all the money comes in from the promotion, I pay off the credit card. So you're using borrowed money, and I think that's what scares me more than anything, right? Is I don't want to, I'm worried about losing that money. So I have a lot of limiting beliefs about that. And it was interesting because I was in a group that I'm in earlier this afternoon, and somebody posted a comment that they're thinking about getting started with their online business, but they're worried because, Kajabi, which is the platform I use for my courses, is, $200 a month or whatever. And they just don't feel like they can invest in that because they feel like their course is still months and months and months away. And that's kind of the same type of scarcity mentality that I have been going through for, the last 12 months. And so, I posted an encouraging comment to them to try and, push them forward to do more. But it was just interesting to me because there's so many people out there who probably feel this way. And maybe you feel this way. Feel like, you really have this place you want to go, you want to take your business, but for whatever reason, there's something that's just holding you back and you're just unable to take the next step. And so there's something mentally going on. And I talked about this in my video that I published yesterday, where, I was listening to a podcast that really, really crystallized this for me earlier this week. And it was on Brooke Castillo's The Life Coach School podcast. I'm sure most of you probably heard of, if you haven't heard of Brooke Castillo, she runs the Life Coach School, very successful entrepreneur. And she was interviewing Ryan Moran. Incidentally, loves the Cleveland Indians, Ryan Moran does. Although they're not the Cleveland Indians anymore. They're the Cleveland Guardians, so I don't know how he feels about that. But anyway, so she was interviewing him, and they were talking about feelings and how feelings. Now, if you go back to the model, the coaching model that she teaches, that Brooke teaches, and this is also, there's a number of other people that have talked about this. It's not unique to her, but it's this model that the facts of your life dictate your thoughts, and your thoughts dictate your feelings, and your feelings dictate your actions, and your actions dictate your results. And so if what's happening in your life is causing you to have thoughts that are basically sabotaging your feelings, which are causing you not to take action, which is leading to no results, that's a problem. And it's interesting because they were focusing mostly on the feelings part, where, and I started to think about this. Well, this is what I've had this feeling that I'm scared, that I don't know if my promotion is going to be successful. I don't know if my next launch is going to be successful, which has held me back from taking any action, and therefore has limited my results. So I've only been able to hit this level and been kind of stagnant, versus if I've been spending money on ads and reinvesting the revenue into more ads, maybe it'd be like this. And I think one of the problems, and another limiting belief I've had, is, well, all this crap is happening with YouTube, right? Or not YouTube, with Facebook right now. And so I don't even know if ads are still working. Like, you can't track them, but that's all bullshit. And that's just stuff that's going into our brains that is sabotaging our feelings, which is sabotaging our actions, and then we're not having results. And so I'm just now starting to realize this. And I know a lot of you might be watching this, you might be on this channel, and maybe you watch other YouTubers and you think, oh, well, he's got 130 some thousand followers, subscribers, so he must be doing pretty good. And yes, I'm not hurting. There's people in this world that are far worse off than me. My thoughts and prayers are constantly going out to the people in Ukraine right now over what's going on there. It makes me absolutely sick that is happening. And so I do feel fortunate for my place in this world and where I'm at, and the fact that we live, in a country that is relatively stable, and so that's good. But I always am thinking about the what's holding me back in my business. So the question I have for you today in this brief time that we have together is, what are you doing to take your business forward? Post in the comments. Let us know, like, what type of business are you in? What are you trying to do? What limiting beliefs do you have that are holding you back, that maybe you need to work on to take your business from where it is now to the next level? And I'm happy to answer any questions that people might have about what I'm dealing with, about what you might be dealing with. Feel free to, like I said, post in the comments. But that's kind of what I got for today. It's nothing, monumental. But so part of this whole thing is, for me anyway, and this is part of my 12-week year. Two of the things I had to do this week was to schedule my next webinar, which I have now done, although it's not public, but it's going to be in March. And I don't have anything for you to sign up with on that either. And then confirm what service I'm going to use for the webinar software. And so I've done that as well. SB says, no, Jim, it's no paranoia. It's true. There's this software you have to use to have your ad appear. And click, I think. Nikki says, I'm an indie author trying to work on figuring out ads as well. Yeah, they're tough. They're tricky right now. But that's not to say that you can't learn them. And that's not to say that there aren't tools and resources out there that will help you get better at them. And I think that's it. Like, I just needed, I had invested in a business coach who did wonders for me, and I was very happy about that. But his Facebook training was dated, I'll put it that way, and had not been updated with everything that's going on. And so all this stuff that happened with iOS 14 last year, and still to this day, has just made everything really difficult for Facebook. Sharon says, I'm starting something, not sure what. But that's the issue. That's the problem that I've been running into lately. And so I'm excited. I'm really excited about what's going to be happening in the next 4, 5, 6 months for me and for my family and for the business that we're running, because I think I have a lot to offer. I think I have a lot of value to offer. And part of that, for me, it all started with releasing this, it doesn't seem like a lot, but, changing the name of my YouTube channel from Hawthorne Law to my name is huge. And that was it. I struggled with this decision for the last 2 weeks. And I asked my wife today, and I was like, what do you think? She's like, I don't know. That's kind of scary. And I posted on Twitter, and I posted it on the community forum here. And like 90% of people said they either didn't care or that I should go for it. I should change it. So that's what I did. And I think changing it to my name makes the most sense, because now I can start to build this personal brand around who I am and what I have to offer. And I have so much more. I think that was the problem that I ran into, is I have so much more to offer other than just legal. Like I know a lot about the legal stuff to protect your online business, and that's great. And I really want to help people with that. But I can also teach other things, because, I've had other lawyers talk to me about technology, and I know a lot about the technology and building an online business. And there's just so many people who are still struggling with these things. And I think that I can provide a lot of value there. Mr. Locknet says, I struggle to find that drive for what I want to accomplish. That's an interesting question that I'd love to dive deeper in that, to find that drive for what I want to accomplish. I think the way I've looked at that, I've thought a lot about this, is my why is for why I push forward and for where I get my drive to be successful and do what I'm doing here on YouTube and everything else is, I want a better life for my kids. I want a better life for my family. I want to have, as I talked about in my video yesterday, I want to have the freedom to choose whether or not I want to continue working or whether I want to take, 2 weeks off to take my kids and go on a trip somewhere with my wife. And that's only possible when you really start to achieve that level of financial independence. And so that's what's driving me forward. So whenever I have a day where I'm like, I don't feel like getting up, I don't feel like doing this stuff today. We all have those days, right? I think it's important to remember, what is your why? And so, I don't know anything about you, Mr. Locknet. I don't know if you've got kids. I don't know if you've got a family. I don't know if you're, young, old, whatever. But you got to think about, what is your why? Why? What? It's not necessarily your drive, but what is your why? Like, what is the thing that gets you out of bed out of day, that gets you jazzed? Because once you find that, then you're going to find your drive. And again, it goes back to that coaching model. Your thoughts, dictate your feelings. So if you can think about what you really, really want, that's going to dictate how you feel about that, which is going to dictate your actions and then your results. And your actions are going to show what you truly believe. So if you're not taking action to build the business that you want, to take your life to the next level, to improve your relationship with your spouse, to, be a good mom or dad or whatever it might be, if you're not taking the actions to do that, then it means you don't believe that that's important to you. But we do the things that we believe are important to us. If we're religious, and we believe, we go to church every week. Your actions show what you believe. If it's important to you to build that business, you're going to show up every single day and you're going to do it. Steve says, do you help set up a single member LLC? Come with an operation, you know how to charge for this process. Thank you. Yeah, Steve, all that stuff is on my website at hawthornelaw.net/fees. And that's kind of what I'm talking about. Like, people still are coming to these lives and asking lots of questions about legal, which I've told repeatedly I can't answer legal questions on the thing. To set up a single member LLC, if you go to Steve, hawthornelaw.net/fees, all my information is there. The link's everywhere. Sharon says, I'm starting a real estate Airbnb business. I seem to be going circles, quite stuck. Yeah, that's a tough business. That is tough. I don't know anything about that other than to know that that is tough business. But I wish you luck. And if that's what you want and that's where you're going, you can be successful. Trish says, changing your name and stepping from behind the business name is scary, but will stretch you in ways you can't possibly imagine. Congratulations on your next step. Thank you, Trish. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. And I hope you're right. I think you are right. Sharon says, I'm excited for the step you took today. Thank you. Yeah, so you need to find your why, Mr. Locknet. That's what you got to do. Find your why, and that is going to push you in the right direction. That's going to give you the drive you need. So it's really like, I'll give you a good example. So once I started thinking about this differently, I was always getting up early. I always got up around, I say 5:30, but it's really sometimes 5:30, sometimes 5:45, sometimes 6. And I was like, you know what? No, I need to get up because we've only got 4 months before we leave to go to Portugal, and I'm going to have to take like a month or two off of work. So I got a lot to do between now and then. And so I've got to get up early. I've got to take more action. The other thing is I'm reading right now The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. If you haven't read this book, it is a powerful, powerful book. But basically it says that, you don't want to do average. You don't want to do the things that are average. If you're looking to be successful, you've got to do more than average. And so that means you've got to look at what everyone else is doing and do 10 times that much activity. And so that's what I'm trying to do. So instead of getting up at 5:30 or 6, I'm getting up at 5 now. And you just got to put in the hours and put in the work, and you got to work smarter too. So I'm trying to do more things, like I said, doing my 12-week year every single week, and trying to get all those things knocked off, the tactics that I have to do that are going to lead me to hitting my goals. And one of them was, I need to start running some Facebook ads. So I'm not there yet. I think that's coming up in the coming weeks, but I really have to clarify what my offer is going to be first. And side note, at my website, OB Foundations, we are, you can get in and I've got some free trainings in there, and you can get access to my membership community that way. But that's kind of, I'm trying to find ways to, right now that funnel is like 2 weeks long, right? And so I think I need to do is shorten that funnel up, and I'm just trying to figure that out and figure out what the right offer is going to be for that. But you can still get into my membership community. Like I said, it's obfoundations.com if you want more information. Street Rat Andrew says, homeschooling materials, my issue is actually the opposite. I need to stay small. Hey, that's fine. Everyone, you stay what is best for you. SB says, congrats, brave transition, but I noticed making a brand name of oneself, it's more substantial. Yeah, but that's where I'm at. Like, I've got three separate websites. And I've got my law firm, I've got my legal template store, and I've got my online business. And so they're all selling courses and things of that sort. And so, and again, you watch the video from yesterday if you have questions about what I'm talking about there. Anyway, this has been great. I'm glad I came on today to talk. I keep saying I'd like to do more of these, and I probably will. But I do have to leave. I've got to pick up my kids from school. Life happens. And so thank you so much for all of you for your support, and for, just supporting me and subscribing to the channel and all those things. I do appreciate it. I'm very thankful for everyone that has followed me on YouTube. And yeah, the name has changed, but I'm still the same person. We're still going to be pumping out the same content. You see the banner is different, but we're going to be doing more stuff about productivity, entrepreneurship, personal finance, and yes, legal tools. I would have written legal in there as well, but it was getting a little jumbled in the banner. But hey, I got to run because I got to go pick up my kids. I can't be late. So have a great weekend, folks. Pray for the people in Ukraine, and And I'll see you next week. Nikki says, thanks for this. It was a nice little surprise. I hopped on YouTube exactly the right moment. I love your channel. Thank you, Nikki. I appreciate that. And I'm glad that you were able to show up today. So have a great day, folks. And see you next week. Take care.